My name is Mia Vandilu, and this past Friday, I released my very first ever single. It is called Fairytale, and I'm super stoked about it. If you haven't heard it yet, please go take a listen. All of the ways that you can listen will be linked down below, so go do that before you continue with this video. This being my first single that I've ever dropped, it has been a really fun ride to jump into the world of sitting with it for a while, seeing how it progresses, and recording it in the studio, learning how to distribute it. And so I thought it would be fun to make a video talking about the entire process of writing Fairytale and just the way that it has changed over the years, and the recording process and kind of the inspiration behind the song as well. I guess I'll plug it now. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow my Instagram and my TikTok and my Pinterest and my SoundCloud, and you're gonna see another announcement very soon. But Fairytale is not the end. However, I think we should dwell on it a little bit, don't you? Obviously, I don't want to share too much. I don't want to go crazy. A level of anonymity is a good thing. I don't really care for you to know who this is about, although a lot of people do. But I wrote this song 4 years ago. The first collection of songs I ever wrote legitimately, because I grew up writing music. I got a ukulele for Christmas in 2017, and I kind of started just experimenting with it. This song, I think, was the longest to write out of the collection. I definitely thought I wrote it a lot faster than I did, but going through all of these videos, trying to find the receipts of when I worked on it and just the process it's gone through, it took me a long time to get to the finished version. And it was one of the final songs actually that was finished of its kind of time, of its era. Yeah, it started out with this just idea of kind of a simple plucking situation. I had this idea of, there's this chord progression that I was gonna use, and I filmed that video December 22nd, 2018, and that's this one. So it kind of remained an idea, just this kind of chord progression, this plucking thing I had going on for a really long time. It was April of 2019 that I actually kind of put it into a song a little bit. I had written the first verse and I guess it's kind of the second verse, and the pre-chorus and the chorus on April 11th of 2019. I need to tell you, I should have told you before the first video, but these are cringy to me because they were back in 2019. So it wasn't that long ago, but when you are 15, so to write and film these videos when you're 15 is tough. So, you know, the difference between 15 and 20 is a big difference, even if it's only been 4 or 5 years. Also, I'm a big fan of writing at night, so I was often just done from the day, cozy, chilling, and then you get these, so.
Every day it's the same, but I can't seem to get you straight. Oh, I wanna get you out of my head, can't get you out of my head. Now whose fault is that? Smile makes the flowers grow, but are they really weeds? Touch, it gives me butterflies, but are they going to sting you? Words are like a fairy tale, but do they have a happy end?
Now, before I continue to show you the iterations that this song has gone through and the things I worked on and changed, I should probably tell you a little bit of the story of what it's about. So at its core, this song is about liking someone that you already know is not a great path to trod. There was this guy that everybody loved. Maybe not loved, but everybody was attracted to, I suppose. I've been working on being less boy crazy, but you're gonna get a lot of boy crazy music for a little while because high school, you know? I didn't want to be another one of those girls. you know? I was like, there are enough girls who are all over this dude, and he's not really super receptive to any of them. And so I really I wanted to distance myself. And then, you know, one thing that is kind of a common thread in a lot of my music is I write as if I was in a relationship with all of these people. I was not. I was not at all. At the time of me writing this, we had hardly spoken to each other. We had some of the same classes together, which is why it is like kind of embarrassing, to be honest, because like there's hardly a way he'd be able to find out, but like I really concocted this out of nothing, which I guess it's embarrassing for me, but I like to think of it as being an honor, because like if somebody wrote a song like this about me that was like, I talked about how he's like irresistible, you know? If somebody wrote that about me, I'd be flattered. Maybe it's not such a bad thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to rationalize my indiscretion. But the lyrics just, you move so fast like a clock. One thing that's a common thread as well in a lot of my songwriting is the idea of time, because I have never felt like I have enough time, and I've always felt like I really need to be careful about how I use my time and maximize it. And so I kind of like this idea that like this thing that I've always felt to my core, he moves fast like time. I feel like I can't catch it. I feel like there's never enough. And I would like more of it, but I also kind of resent the fact that it'll lose me. The I See You on the Wall is kind of older teen, high school movies where they're just like chilling like against a wall. It's the same, I wonder will you ever change. It's that hope that they'll make more time, that they would maybe give you the time of day. And then I'm really proud of this, I want to get you out of my head, can't get you out of my head now, whose fault is that? Because I think part of me still even believes that he intentionally did what he did to garner attention, even if he wasn't going to do anything with it. So I like that, like now whose fault is that? It doesn't necessarily say that it was all his. A lot of it was mine for giving in, but... And then I kind of start to shift the focus away, because I obviously was into him, but I wasn't like, I don't know, I didn't see a future or anything, which is another thing. Like if I don't see a future in a relationship or like a crush even, obviously it's fun, but like girl, you gotta protect your heart. I kind of started in this second verse to shift the focus away from me and onto everybody else that's obsessed with him, because that also was kind of a coping mechanism to help me like him less, you know, to realize he is just loved by so many people, and I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be another person that just is obsessed with him. So yeah, that's where the lines, you're a lion and your prey, they never seem to get enough. They're drawn in by your temper, and I bet it's pretty tough to want something you know you can't win. Do they know that they can't win? Can anybody win? That's those lines. And like I said, you know, I don't know if he even was planning on doing anything with the attention. So you have the pre-chorus that's just, what do you love? I would have loved to know the things that he was deeply, truly passionate about, because it kind of felt as if his entire existence was just to play. And I'm sure that isn't the case, but God, how I would have loved to know. I love knowing people on a personal level and hearing what they are most passionate about. And it's those people that hide it that just like get me the most, you know? Like I want to know what is going on in your soul, and I have no idea. All you're doing is standing up against the wall and looking mysterious. So I really spent a lot of time on that line, what do you love? I can't remember if I do it in the official recording, but when I play it live, I'll say, there's something you love. What do you love? There has to be something. The chorus, I'm also really proud of, and I don't really remember the process of writing this. It kind of just existed, which is crazy, especially as a 15 or 16-year-old writing these lyrics. I think it's pretty impressive, because I don't know if I would have come up with this now. My writing style has changed a lot. So it's cool to be so distanced from the writing process and to feel like I'm almost singing somebody else's song. Obviously I went through it, but it's a writing style that is sort of foreign to me now, and it's just so cool. So I need to channel my 15-year-old self more, but he paints a facade of being beautiful and just having it all together. You know, your smile makes the flowers grow, your touch, it gives me butterflies, your words are like a fairy tale, your gaze is like the sunlight, your voice is like the doves. Just how wonderful it is to be noticed by him, but then it's paired with the flowers grow, but are they really weeds? you know, your touch gives me butterflies, but will they sting? Your words are like a fairy tale, but does it have a happy end? Your gaze is like the sunlight, but I fear it's going to burn. Your voice is like the doves, but will they fly and not return? It may not be worth the beauty to have to deal with the consequences. The bridge kind of mirrors that, the like, I want to give in, but I'm not gonna. And so it says, come hold me, I will push you away. That would have been my dream if he had come to me and said that he was into me, and then I could tell him, no, I'm not playing with you, which is so selfish. Like, girl, again, protect your heart. I did a lot of emotionally manipulative things to myself in the name of art, and I still have to fight that impulse sometimes. Ultimately, I'm really glad nothing came of that. Nothing would have. It was all in my head. That was just my little moment of, you know, even if he was obsessed with me, I wouldn't let him get to me, and that would make me not like other girls, and then I would be obsessed. So I'm such a I'm not like other girls kind of girl. And there's one song, it's not out yet, it will be probably on the next project. It says, I'm a simple girl with pleasures far beyond my reach. And that is the only time I've ever been true about myself. But I don't know, I like to say I'm more unique than everybody else. So anyway, at least I know it's a problem. The bridge continues, come love me, I don't want you to stay, which is pretty expected lyric writing, but whatever. And then I say again, you know, come hold me, I'll push you away. And then come love me, I'm not like all of them, which we've covered. And a lot of times when I play this for gigs, I will do the bridge again and really just build up to it. You know, you get kind of a like, come hold me, I will push you away, come love me, I'm not like all of them. So that is that song, and I was really glad that I wrote that song later on, because that was like my stopping point. I was like, okay, this is over. I'm killing this desire in me. It is fruitless. It goes nowhere. And then we had to interact a lot more the next semester. So it was a good thing I wrote that, because I really was not into it anymore. But I loved the drama of it. The fact that like, I was like, okay, I'm done liking this guy. It's over. I wrote this song. I'm like, I call upon this song whenever anything comes back. I'm super done. And then to have to interact again. That's all I care to share. I love telling this story to individual people, but to the World Wide Web, maybe not. But that's the career I'm going into. So, I don't know. I'm down to tell you things. Why not? And then I collected a bunch of videos that I have of like working on the song and the process of writing it and everything. And again, I say it was a really long songwriting process, because normally I'll spend an hour on a song. Maybe I'll have to add like a bridge or change a melody line or something afterwards, but usually I leave it alone. And this one, it took a long time. I don't think it was fully done. I mean, I started with that little chord progression December 22nd, 2018, and I don't think I was fully done with it until May of 2019, something like that. So then there's this video that's like super blurry and weird, where I was really just trying to figure out the bridge situation, and I had the come hold me, I'll push you away, but I kind of was trying to add on other things. And this song is already weird because it has like the verses are so different from each other. It has the pre-chorus too, and then in the second round it just has the first verse and the pre-chorus, as opposed to having that, you know, second verse in it. So yeah, it was already weird. So I was kind of trying to add like a post-chorus to it, or like a post-bridge situation, and that didn't happen, but I'm glad it didn't, because this video is weird. I haven't seen it since I recorded it. This is a good example of this motif that I was working on, and you'll hear a little bit more, but where I was doing kind of this you know, instead of just that basic.
I know better. You trick me, you're deceptive. You pull the trigger when you got the many plans.
And then we have this final iteration of the bridge that I recorded that same night. So I finally figured it out, thankfully.
Hold me, though you think I will say, come love me,
then the next day, May 18th, 2019, I had this video where I actually recorded the chorus fully for the first time. I mean, I had done it in that other video, but I think I was really fumbling around what I was doing with it. Fun fact, I had said before I wrote this song a lot later than I thought I did, and I didn't realize how intertwined my first and second project really were in the songwriting process, because yes, there will be a second project. And I had already written one or two of the songs that are on my second project when this one was being finally finished, which is kind of crazy. And also, this video was taken like in between writing another song. Like I was working on this one and another one literally at the exact same time. It was my song Think Like Us, if you are familiar with that. I don't think I've ever posted it on YouTube, but it's all over Instagram and TikTok. So that song is a very fun loving, upbeat, jam, and I was writing this one as well.
Your smile makes the flowers grow, but are they really weeds? Your touch, it gives me butterflies, but are they going to sting? Your words are like a fairy tale, but do they have a happy end? Your gaze is like the sunlight, but I fear it's going to burn. Your voice is like the dust, but will they fly and not return? Your words are like a fairy tale, but do they have a happy end?
Then this one is just for fun. Please excuse my horrific hair situation happening there. Just to give you an idea of the kind of music I was into at the moment. This one is a little bit of a mashup of Crush Culture by Conan Gray and Fairytale, because I realized they kind of sound similar, and this one puts Fairytale in a much more like major key. I miss having all this time just to play around with things like this, because now I'm hardcore like marketing and filming these videos and setting things up and working to make money to produce this and whatever. So hey, if you want to help with that, you would make my life. If you are into this song, stream it 1 billion times, put it on all your playlists, send it to all your friends, post it on your stories. It's not out yet, but there may or may not be some merch that you might be able to buy that would help. Interact with this stuff like crazy, because that will allow me to have a lot more time just to make music very soon. So thank you in advance for that. You are wonderful. Here is the mashup of Crush Culture and Fairytale.
Crush culture makes me wanna spill my guts out, spill my guts out. Your presence makes the flowers grow, but are they really weeds? Your touch, it gives me butterflies, but are they going to sting? Your words are like a fairy tale, but do they have a happy end?
So this one is significantly afterwards. This is way after Fairytale was completed, but this is just kind of some tidbits of like when I was into playing it every once in a while, when it was existing and I was fully moved on from it, working on new things. But I had told some of my friends in one of my classes that I wrote this song because they knew the guy, and they were like, we have to hear this. So I recorded it for them on December 16th, 2019, and uploaded it to my spam account. Yeah, so this is a little bit of when it was actually finished, the video that I recorded to share with my friends.
You move so fast, you're a clock. Will you get off of the wall? Every day you're the same. I wonder, will you ever change? Oh, they wanna get you out of their heads, can't get you out of their heads. Now whose fault is that?
And then I took this video right after I'd posted it. This was December 17th of 2019, so a day after, when I actually posted it and sent it to them. And they were closer to him than I was, I want to say, so I was like really jittery about it, just to like tell them about it and get their thoughts and opinions. I hope they listen to my single and are excited about it. So this is me talking about oversharing.
So I just sent my song. We were talking about it on Friday, and I couldn't figure out how to send it to him, and then I posted it on my spam for all the world to see, but most people don't know who it's about. So I had fun. A fight or flight response kicking in, but also it's always constant struggle, because I'm like, how much do you want to know? How much can I share without being over dramatic and too much? How much do you want to hear? I want to tell it all, and that's bad, because then I have no boundaries, and so the other person makes boundaries for me, and I feel self-conscious if I surpass them.
that was the last of it in California, which is when I wrote the song when I was living in California. I left it alone for a while and obviously COVID hit and the whole thing. I went to Montana, lots of time passed. And when I got back from my gap year in Montana and Mexico, which if you want to listen or watch my video about my life story so far, you can hear more about that, but this is not the time nor place to talk about that. We will wait till Project 4. I got back and I really felt like I needed to learn to love my music again because I was just not really stoked about it. I didn't have a lot of self-confidence in the stuff I was writing, so I felt like I needed to get back into it. And so I recorded a bunch of videos and posted them on this private music account that I have that literally was just for that purpose. So yeah, I was recording some tunes for that. And so this was my recording of Fairytale that I did then in my bathroom. So, you know, gotta love the bathroom echo. And this one really shows off the kind of picking that I did, the differentiation of the da 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 da, and then the like ba 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 ba.
You're a lion and you pray they never seem to get enough. They're drawn in by your temper and I bet it's pretty tough to want something you know you can't win. Do they know that they can't win? Can anybody win? Come hold me, I will push you away. Come love me, I don't want you to stay.
Finally, the last video I have before it made it into the studio is my demo of it. So I officially committed to pursuing music in January of 2022. And I quickly realized, I mean, I was trying to post videos on YouTube, you know, just to start to garner a following, but I realized I needed to have demos so I could send them off to studios to see what they think and, you know, get them to work with me. So this was my demo of Fairytale, and I had just gotten a bass ukulele, so there's some bass in there, which is cool. And I mean, you got your ukulele and your piano, the whole 9 yards. This one moves a lot faster, I think, than it ever had. And I think we even slowed it down just a little bit in the actual recording of it. And the thing about this is it feels very dark and heavy. I don't want to say that the final version of it isn't necessarily super dark and heavy because it is a little bit, but this one comparably is like, oof, like it feels like you're in a cloud. Also, I showed this to my dentist. I was like, this is a new thing for me, this is what I'm up to, and so she wanted to see it. So my dentist was the first one to see this, I guess. I don't know.
Your gaze is like the sunlight, but I fear it's going to burn. Your voice is like the doves, so will they fly in our return? Your words are like a fairy tale, but do they have a happy end? Don't hold me, though you think I will sing. Come love me, I don't want you to stay.
Oh, and by the way, if you want to listen to this entire thing, it is still on YouTube. All right, so now we get into talking about the studio recordings. So I worked for a really hecking long time to get enough money for this. I know a lot of people will fundraise, whatever. I worked for every penny of the production of it. And I think it might be a little taboo to talk about how much that costs. So I'm not gonna, but I will say I did a lot of nannying and babysitting for the first like 2-3 months of fundraising for it, and then I waitressed for the rest of it. So it took me from January of 2022 until around mid-October to have all of the funds I needed, and I didn't end up having to pay for it until like, I mean, I actually paid for the entire thing like 3 months ago, so I really could have done it earlier, but I did have to put like a half of the money down a couple months after, but still I didn't have to pay for it for like 5 months after we recorded it. But I wanted to just have it fully funded before we jumped into anything, just so I didn't get caught in anything dangerous. I had visited this studio, Shifted, in Brooklyn, and it was really cool. It has such cool aesthetic, and lots of really awesome people have recorded there. I mean, from Sydney Rose, Isabel Pless, Laura Elliott, Cave Town. And so I was really into that. And so I went and visited and met their producers. I did all that in June of 2022, and there's a vlog about that if you want to take a look. But then I connected with the producer I was hoping to work with, and he had moved studios, so we ended up recording at Studio 42 in Brooklyn. We recorded in like mid-November, and that was just the sweetest week, and I have a vlog about that too. It was such a sweet week just to get to record and see Broadway shows all week. I spent a lot of money on Broadway shows, like $1,000 or something, but I had saved up for it, so. And I got to record everything. So Fairytale was the first song we recorded because it is the single, so I wanted to really lean into that so it set the tone for the rest of the project. I actually was able to save all of the iterations that Fairytale went through. So the first day we recorded was November 7th, and this is a little bit of the first day that we recorded it, just the original take.
What do you Your smile makes the flowers grow, but are they really weeds? Your touch, it gives me butterflies, but are they going to sting? Your words are like a fairy tale, but do they have a happy end?
So you can kind of tell that it is a first day, but I do think it is decently developed for only having spent 4 or 5 hours on this one and also another song in the same day. So yeah, it's not too bad, but there are like my spitty mouth noises throughout, like especially the second half of the song. It drives me insane, but that's a problem, and I think maybe I need to fix that on my end, like learning how not to have so many mouth noises while I'm singing. Yeah, so one thing that was in that one that wasn't in any of the following versions was the "What do you love?" That kind of melodic motif was throughout a lot of the beginning of the song, and then that got cut eventually in favor of some other things.
I wanna get you out of my head, can't get you out of my head. Now whose fault is that?
In the actual pre-chorus, the "What do you love?" it didn't echo. You know, in the following versions, it goes, "What do you love? What do you love?" And it only had the one, which I just thought was very empty. So I'm really glad we added that echo. Another thing is between the second verse and the second pre-chorus, the "Now whose fault is that? There's something you love." It's just completely silent.
Now whose fault is that? There's something.
And we added like a little bit of filler in there in the original or the final version, so that was nice, but it was just completely silent there. This is the version that we updated on November 11th. The main thing I took away from this one is that it was just so much fuller with so many harmonies. I think we recorded a lot of harmonies in there, so that's nice. I'm a huge harmony girl. I will go insane. Just wait till you hear Match. It goes wild. And even Doll. So yeah, it's really cool.
What do you love? Your smile makes the flowers grow, but are they really weeds? Your touch, it gives me butterflies, but are they going to sting? Your words are like a fairy tale, but do they have a happy end?
Now, I have been so excited to show you the iterations of Fairytale more than any other song because of this one recording. This was February 2nd of 2023. And it is like the EDM remix, basically. We took a lot of inspiration from Billie Eilish and Maisie for this song. Oh, I never said Lako was my producer. He's did an amazing job. His production is wonderful, just stellar. And he has his own stuff, so go look into that. He like was trying to lean into those things, but it became very EDM-y, which is fun. So here's the EDM remix. He responded shortly after he sent it and was like, "This isn't it," and I'm like, LOL, okay, because I agreed with him. So
What do you love? Your smile makes the flowers grow, but are they really weeds? Your touch, it gives me butterflies, but are they going to sting?
and then the final iteration before we landed on the official song was February 13th of 2023. And the main thing about this, it got way better. It's super close to the final version. It's just that the background vocals, they're still kind of loud, and so we toned those down significantly.
What do you love? Your smile makes the flowers grow, but are they really weeds?
So yeah, then we landed on the final version of Fairytale, which was done around April, I want to say, really shortly after we filmed a little video maybe for it that might come out, maybe. So yeah, that was the process of writing and recording Fairy Tale. If you have any other questions, I would love to answer them, whether it's just in the comments or maybe we'll do a separate video of all your questions. But I would love to interact with you and hear your thoughts on it. This is your song now. I've spent far too long with it. I mean, 5 years. I've spent so much time with it. I never understood why artists would say, this is your song now. I don't want to let you interpret it the way you want to. But after you spend so much time and so much energy and so much money on it, I want to move on to the next thing. So this is yours now. Also, I've liked like 10 guys since this one, so it's a relic of the past, but it's such a fun story, and I'm happy to get to kind of honor my 15-year-old self in this. That was a huge thing that, you know, especially in the studio recording it and that week. I don't know that there was a ton in my childhood that needed to be healed, but just the fact that I was taking these songs that I wrote back then about the things I was experiencing and spent so much money on them and so much effort, so much time, and just cared so much about the art I was making then, it feels like such a gift to my younger self. I feel like I'm mentoring her, basically, like telling her what you are making matters. It's just so cool to get to kind of heal that part of me that maybe believed I wasn't good enough and say, no, like this had potential and we made it into something amazing and this is all yours. So the song is yours now, but it also belongs to 15-year-old me. This is hers, and I'm doing it on her behalf. So that's Fairy Tale. Please go listen to it if you would. Stream it a billion times. Share it with your friends. The more that you get obsessed with this and the more that I get to share this with you, the closer I can be to doing this forever. And that is just my biggest dream. I will work until that happens, but you can make it happen sooner for me, and that would be so cool. So thank you so much for being a part of this, whether you've been here since I started posting, whether you've known me before that, or whether you're just finding me through Fairy Tale. I'm so happy that you're here and that we get to share in this journey together. I would love to know you, so reach out to me. I'm best on Instagram, but TikTok works too, or SoundCloud or whatever, or on YouTube. Heck, tell me about yourself. Tell me what you think of the song, or don't. Just share your life with me and I'll share mine with you. I'd love that. Thank you so much for being a part of it, and I can't wait for more soon.